At 2,500 meters, the world does not end with a sharp cliff or a dramatic drop into the valley below. It simply dissolves into white. You are already there. The long journey through the lower forests, the hours spent climbing over gray shale and ancient limestone paths, the steady rise through the dwarf pines, all of it has been left behind in another time, another lower world. The fatigue of the trail rests heavy and warm in your muscles, a deep, satisfying ache that settles your weight directly into the cold, ancient stone beneath you. You are sitting on the quiet edge of the plateau, resting against the very crown of Omu Peak, known in the oldest legends of the Carpathians as the Rock of the Old Man. In the collective memory of the mountain people, this giant rock was never just cold limestone. The elders spoke of an ancient sage from the dawn of time who climbed to the roof of the world, listened to the silence of the clouds, and slowly turned to stone so he could watch over the valleys forever. Resting here tonight, you are held by that same quiet guardian, supported by a stone that has spent centuries learning how to remain completely, perfectly still. Around you, there is only a blind, luminous, weightless white. A dense fog has wrapped itself around the summit, shrinking the entire universe down to the old man's rock, where you rest and the cool air immediately surrounding your skin. It is an all-encompassing blanket of suspended moisture, a silent ocean of cloud resting directly on the highest shoulders of the earth. Step away from the need to look ahead. The fog has made every decision for you. It has erased the distance, muted the colors, and brought the world into a state of absolute, perfect subtraction. Listen to the silence of the stone. It is not a hollow, empty quiet, but a dense, velvet hush. Down in the valleys, sound travels across wide distances, the rush of mountain streams, the rustle of leaves, the distant call of birds, the hum of human activity. Up here, beside the ancient rock, every sound is gently absorbed. The cold moisture suspended in the air acts as a soft barrier, catching every vibration and holding it close. The atmosphere has grown utterly motionless. The only sound left in the universe is the steady, quiet rhythm of your own breath. In and out. With every inhalation, the cool, damp air fills your lungs with a deep, crystalline purity. It smells of frozen water, weathered limestone, and a high-altitude clean that has never touched the dust of the lower world. With every exhalation, a faint, warm vapor drifts from your lips, hovering for a quiet second in the white air before merging effortlessly with the mist. It is surprising how willingly the mind accepts this smaller world. Down below, the mind is always moving ahead, measuring time, planning the next hour, looking toward the next ridge, remembering what lies behind. But here on the rock of the old man, Inside the cloud, there is no ahead. There is no behind. There's only this single, quiet ledge of ancient stone, the cool blanket of fog, and the slow, heavy settling of your body into deep rest. The weight of the day's effort begins to soften. The shoulders drop away from the ears. The hands rest loosely on the cool, rough surface of the stone. The eyes, unburdened by the need to scan the horizon or watch for the next step, grow soft and heavy behind closed lids. You are held by the mountain. You are completely hidden, perfectly safe, suspended at the very edge of the earth where the clouds come to rest. Time passes without a clock. Minutes lose their sharp corners and melt into a single, unhurried stream of presence. Then, subtle changes begin to stir within the white. It starts not with a sound, but with a shift in the quality of the light. The uniform, milky glow surrounding the stone begins to change its tone. The bright, opaque white softens into a deep, pale silver, as if a quiet lamp were being brought slowly toward the other side of a frosted glass wall. A cool, impossibly light draft moves across your cheek. Not a wind, but a gentle breath of air, carrying a sudden, sharp drop in temperature. Look closely into the fog. The white is no longer a solid, motionless wall. It is beginning to drift. Heavy, silent currents of mist are sliding across the limestone, moving slowly downhill like a vast river of vapor, returning to the valleys. The atmospheric pressure high above the Carpathians is shifting, pushing the heavy humidity down from the peaks. It is a silent, monumental departure. Massive curtains of gray moisture glide smoothly over the mountain, exposing the dark, wet skin of the rock inch by inch. You remain still, sitting against your high stone, watching the ocean of clouds retreat beneath, sliding down the sheer vertical cliffs of the north face, draining out of the high couloirs, settling into the vast, hollow valleys far below. Within moments, the transformation is complete. The cloud has not vanished from the earth. It has simply settled into a flat, unbroken floor of solid white, resting 500 meters beneath where you sit. You are no longer inside the cloud. You are above it. An extraordinary sight opens up in the dimming twilight. As far as the eye can see in every direction, the entire lower world is completely covered by a smooth, rolling sea of white clouds, a silent, frozen ocean made of vapor. The cities, the roads, the forests, the rivers, the noise of human lives, all of it lies buried beneath a thick, impenetrable blanket of mist. Only the highest peaks rise above this white ocean, standing like dark, isolated islands in an uncharted sea. You are resting on the highest island of them all, cradled by the timeless stone of the old man's rock. As the last light of dusk drains from the western horizon, the sky overhead undergoes a quiet, breathless transformation. In Eastern European lore, there is an ancient belief about these high, silent nights above the clouds. The mountain dwellers spoke of the moment when the heavens opened their heavy doors. It was said that when a traveler rests upon the old man's rock in perfect stillness, the veil between the earth and the infinite parts completely, offering deep peace and protection to anyone watching from the peak. Without the barrier of the clouds, without the dust and artificial glow of the towns below, the transition from day to night happens with startling clarity. The sky does not merely turn gray, it deepens through shades of crystalline indigo, cobalt, and slate, until it settles into a black so profound, so pure, and so dense that it feels less like an empty sky and more like a wall of dark, flawless velvet hanging over the mountain. Then, one by one, the guardians of the night appear. It begins quietly. High above, a single point of light pierces the dark. It is sharp, unwavering, and intensely bright, a cold, silver needle piercing the velvet canvas. A moment later, another appears to the east, glowing with a faint, warm amber light. Then three more, forming a wide, familiar arc over the dark silhouette of the peak. Your eyes, fully adjusted to the deep shadows of the mountain, begin to open wider, drinking in the emerging sky. Because you are resting at 2,500 meters, elevated far above the dense moisture of the lower atmosphere, there is nothing to distort or soften the light of the stars. They do not merely twinkle with the soft, friendly glow seen from a valley garden. They burn with a fierce, icy, diamond brilliance. They seem impossibly close, as if you could reach out a hand from the old man's rock and trace the sharp geometry of their patterns. Slowly, the familiar outlines of the ancient constellations reveal themselves, holding their timeless posts in the dark. High in the northern sky, the great constellation of Ursa Major, known to the old Carpathian shepherds as the Great Chariot, swings its wide silver frame directly over the stone peak. Its primary stars glow with a steady, quiet authority, instantly anchoring the night. Following the line of its outer edge upward, your gaze finds Polaris, the North Star, standing completely still, while the rest of the cosmos performs its slow, eternal wheel around it. For thousands of years, shepherds resting against this very stone, ancient travelers watching over their herds, and mountain sages looking up from the Carpathian ridges have stared at that exact same point of light. It has stood as an unchanging anchor through centuries of changing worlds, a quiet promise of order and stability, hanging in the vastness of the dark. As you lean back against the cool rock, your body safe and warm in its thick wool blanket, your eyes follow the ancient lines. There is Cassiopeia, a sharp silver W letter reclining against a bed of dark space. Nearby, glowing softly like a cluster of tiny silver diamonds, is the constellation of the Pleiades, known in Eastern lore as the Golden Hen with her chicks. Just as your eyes adapt to the bright geometry of the primary constellations, the deep sky behind them begins to open even wider. It is a gradual, breathtaking reveal in the spaces between the familiar stars, spaces that appeared empty just a few moments before. Thousands upon thousands of faint, tiny points of light begin to emerge. They crowd the dark velvet, multiplying silently until the sky is no longer a dark expanse with a few scattered lights, but a dense, shimmering field of diamond dust. And then, spanning the entire arc of the heavens, from one horizon to the other, the true masterpiece of the high-altitude night reveals itself, the Milky Way. The ancient legends called it the Sky River, a luminous path woven across the dark so that lost travelers could always find their way home. Seen from the valleys, choked by artificial light and humid air, the galaxy appears as little more than a faint, pale streak. But up here, above the clouds, resting on the ancient stone, it is a magnificent, glowing highway of light. It arches directly over the peak like a colossal bridge woven from silver, lavender, and pale gold. Millions of distant suns, packed so closely together that their light blends into a continuous, glowing fog of stars, cascade across the blackness. Look closely into the glowing river. It is not a uniform band of light. It has structure, depth, and ancient texture. Dark, jagged rifts of cosmic dust cut through the center of the silver stream. Massive clouds of cold interstellar gas that block the light of the stars behind them. The Great Rift splits the galaxy into two parallel branches, creating dark, mysterious canyons within the ocean of light. Sitting on this high stone plateau, supported by the Old Man's Rock, surrounded by a sea of white clouds below, and this river of silver above, the sense of scale begins to shift inside you. The light touching your face tonight is not a fleeting thing. The silver streams radiating from the heart of the Milky Way did not begin their journey yesterday or last year. The photons striking your eyes in this exact, quiet second left their distant suns thousands, tens of thousands of years ago. They have been traveling through the cold, absolute silence of the cosmic void for millennia. They sped through the dark while ancient Dacian sanctuaries were built on these mountain ridges. They crossed the emptiness while forests grew, withered, and grew again on the lower slopes. They traveled through the quiet night while generations of human lives unfolded in the valleys far below. And now, after a journey spanning thousands of light years across the silent deep, those ancient rays of light reach the end of their long path on the high peaks of the mountain. touching your eyes, resting on your skin, illuminating a single peaceful moment in your life. You are not merely looking back into space. You are looking back into time. The stars are a living history of the universe, radiating a quiet, ancient truth that makes all human clocks and worries seem endlessly small, fleeting, and light. Old Man's Rock, ancient as it is young compared to the river of light flowing above it. And you, resting comfortably against the stone, wrapped in deep rest, are a quiet witness to this timeless meeting of earth, time, and infinity. The air grows colder, crisp and perfectly still. The thick blanket wrapped around your shoulders holds the deep, gentle warmth of your body, creating a soft, cozy sanctuary against the cool surface of the stone. Your breathing has slowed to a long, deep, effortless rhythm, in and out. The mind has stopped searching for meaning, stopped analyzing, stopped trying to grasp the immense scale of what lies above. It simply rests, floating quietly on the surface of the night like a leaf resting on a dark, calm lake. Suddenly, without a sound, a faint streak of silver touches the sky right above the peak. High above the northern ridge, a tiny point of light snaps into existence and streaks across the dark velvet vault. It leaves behind a thin, glowing trail of emerald and gold that hangs in the air for a fraction of a second before gently fading into the dark. A meteor, a grain of cosmic dust, no larger than a pebble, ending its billion-year journey through space in a single, breathtaking flash of grace. An entirely silent gift, an ephemeral moment of beauty created and erased in the blink of an eye, seen by no one else in the world below, buried as they are beneath the sea of clouds. A deep, quiet comfort washes over you. In the vast, majestic scale of the cosmos, where stars live for billions of years and galaxies span light years of empty space, such small, fleeting moments still hold absolute perfection. The brief flash of the meteor, the quiet settling of the cloud, the cold touch of the guardian stone beneath you, the slow warmth of your breath. All of it belongs to the same universe, governed by the same peaceful, eternal laws. Another silent light streaks across the eastern sky, lower this time, tracing a gentle arc just above the golden hen before dissolving into the dark. The sky is alive with silent, ancient motion, yet it brings a peace so deep that it feels as though the old man himself has paused his ancient breathing just to rock you into sleep. The sea of clouds far below remains motionless, a vast white floor protecting you from the world you left behind. Up here on the high plateau, the boundaries between things begin to dissolve in the quiet dark. The cold stone beneath your hands no longer feels separate from you. It is the ancient foundation that supports your rest. The clear, thin air filling your lungs is the same air that carries the light of the stars. The silver river of the Milky Way above is not something far away. It is the wide, luminous home in which this mountain, this night, and your resting body are gently cradled. Your eyelids grow impossibly heavy. The brilliant diamond points of light overhead begin to blur slightly behind a soft, warm haze of emerging sleep. The sharp geometry of the constellations softens into a gentle, shimmering tapestry of silver and blue. Listen to the mountain one last time. There is only the absolute, pristine, golden silence of the highest peak, resting under a sky of infinite stars. It is a silence that tells you that everything is complete. There is nothing left to climb. There is no path left to follow. There are no answers left to find. You have reached the place where the clouds end, resting upon the old man's rock, where the earth touches the sky, where time slows down to match the eternal pulse of the stone. Your breath becomes even slower, even deeper, flowing in and out like a gentle tide. Inhale the clean, cold memory of the stars. Exhale the last, lingering weight of the lower world. The stone holds you. The blanket wraps you in warmth. The ocean of clouds below shelters your quiet sanctuary. And above, the millions of silver suns continue their long, silent, magnificent dance across the black velvet sky, watching over your rest with the patient love of an ancient universe. The thoughts in your mind drift away like small patches of morning mist, dissolving one by one into the silver dust of the Milky Way. You are safe. You are warm. You are at peace on the roof of the world. The sky remains open. The stars continue to shine. The old man holds you close. Drift down into the dark. Drift into the quiet silver light. Sleep. Just sleep.